Fisher House title, Shadows of the Past. The Enigma of Columbus. Fisher House. A panoramic view of Columbus, Georgia, transitioning to a slow, ominous zoom-in of the Fisher House, its facade bathed in the golden hues of dusk. The wind howls through the trees, and a faint whisper can be heard on the audio, almost indistinct, as if carried from another time. Nestled in the heart of Columbus, Georgia, stands the Fisher House, a structure as enigmatic as it is historic. To the untrained eye, it is simply a beautiful relic of the past, an architectural marvel of its era. But to those who have spent time within its walls, something more lingers here. Something unseen, something unresolved. Today, we embark on a journey into its past, unraveling tales that intertwine history with the supernatural. What truly happened within these walls? And do the echoes of the past still linger in the present? Slow fade to black, then reappear with an old newspaper clipping, slightly blurred, with a headline about the Fisher House from the early 1900s. The genesis of Fisher House. Get to archival images of Columbus in the 19th century, interspersed with close-ups of the Fisher House's architectural details, the ornate molding, the towering columns, the once grand windows now dulled with time. The story of the Fisher House begins in the mid-1800s, commissioned by a family of great wealth and influence. Colonel James Fisher, a man whose name is now whispered among historians and paranormal enthusiasts alike, envisioned this house as a sanctuary for his lineage. He was a man of prestige, a veteran of war, a pillar of Southern society. And yet, the walls of his home would soon bear witness to unspeakable sorrow. Transition to black and white photographs of the era, overlaying the voice of an actor portraying Fisher, reading aloud from an old letter. Colonel Fisher actor voiceover. My dear Evelyn, our home is nearly complete. The craftsmanship is divine, as if touched by angels themselves. This house shall stand for generations, a beacon of our legacy. May God grant that only joy and prosperity ever fill its halls. Cut to present day, zooming in on the same halls, now worn, dimly lit, filled with an eerie silence. But the Colonel's wish would not be granted. Instead, the Fisher House became something else entirely, a place of tragedy, a house that harbored more than just the living. The Civil War and its haunting echoes transitioned to sepia-toned reenactments of Civil War soldiers marching, with distant sounds of battle drums and gunfire. As the tides of the Civil War swept across Georgia, Columbus became a vital hub. Men fought and died, some never seeing their homes again. But the Fisher House, it became something else, a refuge, a hospital, a last stop before the unknown. The once pristine halls were soon filled with the groans of the wounded, the whispered prayers of the dying, and in some cases, souls that never left. Overlay a dramatic reenactment, flickering candlelight illuminating the haunted, desperate eyes of injured soldiers as a field nurse desperately tries to save them. Nurse actress voiceover. Hold on, just a little longer. Stay with me. A soldier gasps his last breath. The candle flickers violently before snuffing out. Some say the spirits of these soldiers still roam the halls, their cries sometimes heard in the dead of night. Shadows move where none should be. Cold drafts slither through closed rooms. Could it be that those who perished in agony here never truly left? Cut to an interview with a local historian. While official records document the Fisher House as a wartime shelter, locals have long spoken of unexplained occurrences, apparitions in uniform, the chilling sound of boots marching long after midnight. The stories persist, generation after generation. Paranormal encounters montage of modern-day paranormal investigators setting up equipment inside the Fisher House, infrared cameras scanning the walls. In recent years, paranormal investigators have sought to uncover the truth behind the tales. What they found was chilling. Insert clips from a real or dramatized investigation, an eerie voice captured on an EVP recorder. Investigator, during our session in the main parlor, we captured an EVP, a voice clearly whispering, "Help me." No one else was speaking. And yet, there it was. A thermal camera shows an unexplained cold spot moving across the room. Investigator 2, we felt a presence, like someone watching from just beyond the veil of the visible. The air became thick, oppressive. Someone was there. The Tale of the Weeping Woman, illustrated depiction of a 19th century woman standing at a window, tears streaming down her face. One of the most haunting stories is that of the weeping woman, her name lost to history, her sorrow eternal. She awaited the return of her beloved from war, standing by the upstairs window, day after day, night after night. When the letter arrived, bearing the news of his death, she could not bear it. She took her own life within these very walls. Cut to an interview with a local resident. One evening, as I walked past the house, I glanced up and saw her, a shadowy figure at the window. It was brief, but chilling. I'll never forget it. Columbus harbors another infamous structure, the Woolfolk House, dubbed the House of 1,000 Cadavers. While separate from the Fisher House, it underscores the city's long, eerie history. Columbus is a city of ghosts, and the Fisher House, it might be its most haunted resident. Footage of the Fisher House at night, shadows shifting eerily. Whether one believes in spirits or not, the history of the Fisher House is undeniable. Its walls have absorbed decades of sorrow, mystery, and lingering energy. What do you believe? Do the echoes of the past remain, or are they merely tricks of the mind? The Fisher House silhouetted against the night sky, a single candle flickering in an upper window. As the sun sets and darkness takes hold, one question remains. If you were to step inside, would you walk out alone? Subscribe for more tales that bridge history and mystery. Do you dare to believe? If so, leave a comment.